Well, hello there, and we are coming to you live from Event City, UK in Manchester, and hosted this is the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup, and I'm going to shh because we are going to listen to the team anthems. This one for Greece. And now the anthem for Team Canada. It's time to play roller derby. I am Hammer Abby. I can't even say my own name. Hammer Abby. I'm here with Mr. Whistler, and we're going to bring you this Team Greece versus Team Canada game here on the S1 Helmets track on day 3 of the Roller Derby World Cup, hosted by Rainy City Roller Derby, who are killing it this weekend, hosting and being amazing. We will give you some quick rundown of the rosters and then get things rolling for you. I'll give it to Mr. Whistler to give you Canada because I feel like that's only right.
Yeah, good morning. Team Canada will be wearing white for this game. Their roster for this game is 10-17, Bigley Smalls. Number 11-11, Maya Mangaliu. 1-3-1, Alexandra Evans. Number 16 is Palmer. 1-8-3 is Lever. Number 19, Labrosse. Number 210, Boxcar. 231 is Crazy Squirrel. Number 24, Shania Payne. 303, Kenichiwa. Number 658 is Hughes. 66 is Falcon Punch. 88, Maiden Sane. 99, Pulish. And 9999, Manj Moel Cool.
And for Team Greece, we got 0030, Leo Leos. 01 is Kiki Corretas. 100, Malibu. 2, Diarrhea. 248, Naniopolis. 3 is Sarlis. 300, Greek Frightening. 314, Amazon. 4, Nacho Friend. 45, Fuji. 49, Donna Stunner. 500, Beth Saltz. 6, Vino Evil. 808, Block Lava. And 950, Papa Zikopoulos. I'm going to work on that.
Day 3 of the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup. In preliminary action on Thursday, Canada going 2-0 with a 199-34 victory over Wales and a 291-0 shutout over Russia.
Whew.
Then yesterday, Canada defeating France 241-155. Greece going 1-1 on day 1, defeating South Africa 87-76, but then losing to Aotearoa 189-59. And then yesterday, handily taking Costa Rica 501 to 112. So Greece, this is their second appearance at the Roller Derby World Cup. Canada, this is their third time, 3 for 3 in cup appearances. Canada finishing in second place in 2011 and finishing fourth in 2014.
Be very interested to see how these two teams match up against each other. Canada, of course, benefiting from having a pretty strong roster of established Canadian WFTDA team players as well. And, of course, Team Greece does have quite a few as well. And we have got Maya Mangalu on the line, 1-1-1-1 for Canada, going to be facing off against Beth Salt for Team Greece. Canada currently ranked number 3 to Greece's 33 in the World Cup. And taking lead jammer right out of the bat here, that's going to be Maya Mangalu for Team Canada.
See, right now there's already a star pass on the Greek side going to the pivot, number 314, and that is Amazon. Amazon now trying to get the initial pass completed, knocked to the outside, however, penalty being signaled. It's actually a track cutting penalty, so power jam for Canada here in the early going.
Yeah, Team Greece losing both their jammer and their pivot to the 5-second skate gear penalty box. Basically a star pass gone wrong. So Maya Mangalu still on the track, scoring a 5-point grand slam for Team Canada. And that'll be first blood on the board.
Canada now taking the back wall here, giving a lot of space to Mangle, who comes through the inside. Not sure if she's crossed into the infield, so she's going to play it safe and recycle herself. 3 wall of Greek blockers at the front, anchored by Kiki Karitas. Jammer back on the track. It's number 500, Beth Salt, star in hand. The white helmet towards the front, surrounded by the Canadian blockers. It's Alexandra Evans anchoring the triangle.
Maya Mangalu with a nice little spin move around the inside line. Between turns 3 and 4 is through for another 5-point grand slam. And now a successful star pass handed off to 950, the pivot for Team Greece. I'm sorry, that's 314. Amazon giving chase. But Maya Mangalu going to call that off before they can score any points. So another 4. So big opening jam for Team Canada puts them up to 15 points to Greece's 0 after the first jam of this game.
Yeah, and so there was the original attempted star pass, but the jammer before handing off the star was called for the track cut, and coincidentally the pivot was receiving a penalty for blocking out of play. So the two of them combined then had to sort themselves out in the 5-second skate gear penalty box, and then they'd star passed again later, so it all worked out.
You just got to reset sometimes. It happens to the best of us. That's Shania Payne jamming for Team Canada, and also grabbing team lead jammer for Team Canada.
Yeah, Neniopoulos wearing the jammer helmet cover for Greece, knocked to the infield, recycled by Hughes. Hughes taking a bump at the back, and that's going to allow Neniopoulos to get back on the track. Shania Payne already with 5 points.
Both teams losing 1 blocker to the 5-second skate gear penalty box. That includes Team Greece's pivot. So their jammer out there by herself, going to have to make this work, and she does get through one final hit from Labrosse. Through on her initial pass. Shania Payne, meanwhile, scoring points, has 2 to defeat in the front, just 1 now, and is through on the near straightaway. 4 more points for Canada. Neniopoulos coming along, looking to score points, but Canada's going to go ahead and call that off. Another 4 points at the end, bringing it up to 28-0.
You're watching this game on the S1 Helmets Skateco track. S1 Helmets is the official helmet of the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup. The S1 Lifer helmet offers the best fit and best protection, and it's made for roller derby. Get a lifer, be a lifer, S1.
Fuji taking the, well, I would say star, but I believe it's an owl for Team Greece. The symbol of Athena, also the look of their bench coach. But that's going to be Crazy Squirrel with lead for Team Canada. Not too far behind, though, just a few paces. Fuji giving chase. Pax moving fast into turn 2.
You see Team Canada getting into position to take the front wall. Crazy Squirrel, though, looking back, seeing Fuji approaching, calls the jam, and no points come in for either side.
And that's what you can call a win sometimes when you're down a bit against a team, a 0-0 jam.
Yeah, put a bit of pressure on, make them rethink their their life choices.
Falcon Punch with the Maple Leaf for Team Canada. We'll be facing off against Beth Saltz, who we saw start the game for Greece. You might recognize quite a few of these names on Team Canada from the New Skids, Montreal.
Yeah, Falcon Punch actually skated for Team France at the 2014 World Cup
and
this
got lead
year on Canada.
I always like to see those switcheroos sometimes, and I'm a little jealous of people who can legitimately claim a couple of different nationalities. I'm just American. Falcon Punch, meanwhile, scoring some points. That's a 5-point grand slam on the far straightaway. Beth Saltz stuck in the pack, looking to make a star pass, does to the pivot.
Tag team here from Palmer, Lever, and Kanichiwa, all taking turns, causing all sorts of problems now.
Papa not able to get through, still with the star cover in her hand. Also the captain for Team Greece. Fun note, 5-point grand slam in the meantime. As Falcon Punch makes her way around, the pack's moving into the near straightaway now, just in a scramble, mixing it up with each other. We'll lose one blocker for Team Greece for a direction to gameplay call, and another 5-point grand slam for Falcon Punch while I was talking about it. She's just out there racking up points right now.
You see Papasakopoulos seeing Falcon Punch coming, throws the hip, just misses though. Falcon Punch putting another 5 in the sky as a result. Papasakopoulos now trying to break apart that triangle, taking a penalty though for blocking with the head. So this is a power jam for Team Canada.
And that is always dangerous as a jammer. You really want to wedge yourself into those super strong tripods, try to break apart the seam as best you can, but it's difficult not to lead with your head sometimes. You get really tipped over, and then that's when you run into trouble.
Well, and sometimes talented blockers, I believe, are going to kind of just take that to their advantage and basically force you into that position too, if they're clever. So.
And Canada is looking pretty clever. 0-0 on that pass, but 35 points total scored by Falcon Punch. Huge jam brings Team Canada to 63. Greece yet to put any points on the board.
The Roller Derby World Cup is brought to you in part by the new Rydell Solaris. Solaris, the performance you demand, the comfort you've been missing.
And still a power start for Team Canada, so they'll send Maya Mangalyou to the line to start this one off for them. Greece has their full pack on the track, but no jammer.
Maya Mangalyou, one of the few skaters on the Team Canada roster who does not play for a Canadian team at home. Of course, Maya Mangalyou from Boston Roller Derby in Boston, Massachusetts.
Coming around on the near straightaway. Canada doing a great job of infiltrating Team Greece's defenses and making it very difficult for them to stay cohesive, so they're not able to stop Maya on her way through 4-point pass. And Papasakopoulos back on the track wearing the star for Greece after serving that penalty, not able to make any headway. They do have a jammer out there, a pivot, Amazon. Could take the star if need be, but Papasakopoulos getting recycled way back into turn 4 by Bigley.
Yeah, you saw that nice move by Bigley Smalls, throwing a teammate into Papasakopoulos to knock her over the line so she could simultaneously perform that recycle.
5-point grand slam from Maya. In the meantime, we're still hanging out in the near straightaway, and we do now have that star pass to Amazon, but she's getting stuck almost immediately behind Team Canada's blockers in turn 1. And team trying valiantly to provide some offense to get her through, just not able to make it work, and distracted enough, of course, to let Maya Mangalyou through for another 5-point grand slam.
Amazon season opening on the inside line, almost takes it, but Monge with the knockout into the infield, and now the drawback.
Monge, of course, a long-time skater with Montreal and an excellent pivot. Not a blocker you want to tangle with. She's incredibly wily.
Very smart player. Also spent some time as an official at home in Montreal Roller Derby.
That doesn't hurt. You get a real good understanding of the rules, which you should do as a skater, let's be real, but having that official inside knowledge can definitely help. Another 5-point grand slam for Maya as the pack slowly grinding their way into turn 2, and that jam will just come to its natural conclusion. Another big jam for Team Canada, 39 points, so bringing up to 102-0 for Team Greece, still struggling to put points on the board.
Blood and Thunder believes that life is better on roller skates. Visit them at bloodandthundermag.com for roller derby inspired apparel. Thank you, Blood and Thunder.
Maiden Sane taking the Maple Leaf for the first time in this game for Canada. Naniopolis will be wearing the star or the owl, for Team Greece. I'm really enjoying all the interesting helmet covers unique to the different countries. Maiden Sane out first. Naniopolis had come close, just really excellent recycling by the Canada pack, keeping her stuck in the near straightaway.
Maiden Sane based with Terminal City out of Vancouver, British Columbia on Canada's west coast. Good morning to anybody watching in the Vancouver area. You're up early.
Real early on the west coast right now. Maiden Sane, just a couple little hops to get through the pack there as it comes into turn 2. Going to pick up another 5-point grand slam for Canada.
So Greece with two blockers in the 5-second skate gear penalty box right now. So having some trouble getting some offense coordinated here as that triangle now anchored by Kenichi Wao, number 303 for Canada. The pivot is causing some headaches. Initial pass completed there, though, by Naniopolis.
Took advantage of a no pass, no penalty, got hit out, but the blocker went with her, and that's always a nice opening. But again, Canada being very smart about the clock, calling it off, another 4 points, so that's going to be a 19-point jam for Canada. Still in the phase when those big point differentials do make a difference for your standings heading into quarterfinals and the more competitive part of the tournament when things start to come into places, which will start later this evening, our time, Greenwich Standard Time.
Well, the officials are going to call a timeout. So an official timeout right now. Let's talk about the Frogmouth uniforms that most World Cup teams are wearing this weekend. Frogmouth makes them in 48 sizes. They start at 3 extra small and go up to 6 extra large. And all of them come in petite length, regular length, and extra long. There's even a crop top option, as we've seen some teams employing this weekend.
I believe Giles was just wearing that in the Australia game, and I was admiring it.
Yep. And every size is actually the same price. And that means that everybody on the team gets the fit and look they love, and nobody has to pay more because of their shape or size. Frogmouth would love to make your roller derby uniform. Contact Frogmouth today at frogmouthclothing.com. Thank you, Frogmouth.
Our stalwart producer today, Malice, and I were just silently golf clapping the no extra charge based on your size, because that is excellent and should be standard practice. We appreciate that. Fun fact, by the way, from said producer, Canada is currently averaging 20 points a jam. Not too shabby. Greece having a chat on their bench, trying to find a way to get into this game, put some points on the board. They're going to send Fuji to the line, number 45, to jam. And we'll be facing off against Shania Payne for Canada. Shania Payne easy up the outside line. Currently Greece down 2 blockers in the box, Canada down 1. Pack's moving quickly into turn 2. Shania Payne, just a quick little hop over the inside line, going to score a 5-point grand slam. Fuji getting knocked to the inside, dragged back a little way, is going to have to start over in turn 2.
Amazon, the pivot for Greece, number 314, was starting to eye the jammer, looking for an opportunity. However, picks up a penalty, now taking a seat in the 5-second skate gear penalty box for a low blocking penalty.
And that's going to be a back block call on number 9034. I'm sorry, 0. I can't. Numbers are hard to read. That's Lilios. Leos for Greece headed to the box. Shania Payne, again, cruising around for a 5-point grand slam. And this is tricky. So Team Greece is really going to need to start using those star passes effectively to basically stop the bleeding and try to get, if they can't get lead, you got to be able to pass that star really quickly and put some pressure on. If they keep losing their pivot to the box, however, it's not possible to do that.
Yeah, Canadian pack starting to thin out a little bit too. Boxcar taking a trip to the 5-second skate gear penalty box for a track cut.
Fuji just grinding away at this tripod between turns 3 and 4. Big Smalls and Hughes not making this pass terribly easy or possible. Monge in the front here, the final one to beat, gonna knock Fuji out, make her start again here.
Again, the pivot going to the box for Greece. Amazon this time for a forearm penalty. So that's going to leave Fuji on her lonesome. No opportunity to hand off the star, but right now she's just driving and driving behind Hughes and Monge. Gets knocked down, gets back up again. Now just has the one to beat Monge, getting a little bit of offensive help at the front.
So a huge jam, 45 points racked up by Shania Payne.
Having a look here at the action at turn 3 on the previous jam and seeing just a little maneuver on the inside line there from Shania Payne, a little hop, a skip, and a jump that she employs so successfully.
Going to get a little bit tricky here for Amazon, sitting on 4 penalties yet in this game, just in the first half as one of their pivots. Going to get a little dangerous. So we see Beth Saltz take the line for Greece, Crazy Squirrel for Canada. Crazy Squirrel way out in front, just 2 to beat. She's going to go ahead and pick up lead jammer. Beth Saltz in the back, tangling with all 4 Canada blockers in turn 1.
Crazy Squirrel challenges and is successful at the hit on Kiki Caritas, getting through for another 5 points. Star is off for Beth Saltz. Now is handed off to Amazon. Amazon, though, on the far straightaway, trying to get around the outside and is going to take penalty number 5. This is another forearm call, and she has the helmet cover for the jammer in hand, so it's a power jam for Canada.
Stormy skies right now for Team Greece, unfortunately. A nice hit to the inside there, though, however, by... who was that? Greece blocker hitting Shania Payne out, but dragging her back. She's back in for a 5-point grand slam.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Greece possibly take a team timeout after this jam and do a bit of a reset. It's been a little scrambly here in the early going, and Canada taking full advantage. Crazy Squirrel here getting popped back and forth, and Kiki Caritas is going to be sent to the 5-second skate gear penalty box for that.
Just as Amazon has sprung back onto the track, holding the cover in her hand, but she's going to have to get through this tripod of Canadian blockers in turn 3. And no pivot to hand it off to because she was the pivot.
Nice clearing work happening from Kenichi Wow, number 303, the pivot for Team Canada. Greece going over a bit of passive offense here as they're allowing Amazon to work on her own. Doesn't pay off in this case, so Greece yet to get on the board. Another 36 points are brought in for Canada. They're at 202. Having another look here at the action from the previous jam. Crazy Squirrel that hit on Kiki Caritas and just then piercing the remaining 2 wall to find the free and open spaces, as our friend Lightning Slim would say.
So that 45-point jam we previously saw may well be the highest scoring jam yet this weekend. We do know there was a 42-point jam on Thursday for Team Aotearoa. I'm working on it. Definitely want to get that right.
Now, of course, this weekend, in some cases, we are seeing some lopsided results, as this one shows in the early going, at any rate. But of course, it's important to remember that there is still rankings are being calculated with an aim towards putting together the best matchups for that final 8 for that'll play for medals tomorrow. So it's not just winning and losing in this this particular round. It's how much you win by.
It's harvesting those points
and your ratio. So a track cut being issued here on Naniopolis. So Maya Mangaliu is now on a power jam for Canada. She already has 10 points and now has 30 seconds unopposed.
Just 3 blockers on the track right now for Greece in the far straightaway. Things moving pretty quickly. She's able to duck around and underneath, and Maya Mangaliu is going to score another 5-point grand slam. Canada just hanging back. We're between turns 3 and 4.
So Alexandra Evans, number 131 for Canada, with the pullback as that blocker was re-entering. That was number 808, Bloklava, and basically forced an illegal re-entry and incur another blocker penalty.
Bloklava, also one of my favorite desserts. Naniopolis back on the track, star cover in her hand, attacking the tripod. Trying to get a little bit of help there from Vino Evil to pivot. Gonna pick up a forearm call. I'm sorry, a cutting the track call. Headed to the box again for another power jam for Team Canada. Already sitting at 30 points in this jam. Make that 35. Maya Mangalu around again as the clock winds its way down to its natural conclusion, and there it is. Team Greece going to go ahead and call a team timeout, take a breath, reset, figure out what they can do or change to try to change their fate in this game.
Roller Derby City is a skater-owned and operated merch and uniform company. They are UK-based and they ship worldwide. They supply uniforms and merch for teams, leagues, roller derby brands, and events, including all the merch for the Roller Derby World Cup, as well as individual customized items such as scrimmage tops, officials gear, and referee shirts. Being skater-owned and operated means supporting the roller derby community, and that's at the heart of what they do. And they've been proudly supporting local roller derby since they began in 2010. Thank you to Roller Derby City. And Event City, the building that we're in right now, feels like Roller Derby City.
It really does.
It's the Roller Derby United Nations of sorts.
Yes.
People have come from all over the world, not just the participants, not just the officials, not just the announcers and volunteers, the fans. There are fans here from North America, from all over Europe, from down under. People have come from all over to be a part of this amazing, wonderful event. I'm glad you're here, Hammer.
I'm glad to be here, Mr. Whistler. I think I'm slowly adjusting to the time change here. Mostly coherent. Having a great time, though. Feel very well taken care of. And P.S., by the way, that the final 8 that we were just talking about starts at 7:30 GMT today. The rankings will be decided after 5:30 today, so there'll be a great, I don't know, hue and cry that will go up around that time as we figure out where everybody is gonna land. So some of the teams will be done. These will be their last games of the weekend, and then they'll just get to hang out and watch. And others will go on to glory. Lead jammer right now being assessed to Falcon Punch for Canada. Naniopolis jamming, well, in the box currently for Team Greece as they had a power start for Canada to start this jam.
Offense coming in quickly here for Greece. A nice reset, trying to free Naniopolis, who has re-entered play. She's gotten past a couple. Falcon Punch goes around the apex, but cleanly picks up 4 points.
Canada just so good at reabsorbing the jammer. They feel like they've gotten a couple of yards gained, and then they just take it right back. But Naniopolis able to finally get through on her initial pass. Falcon Punch sort of calmly dodging a final hit there to get through for another 4-point pass. Naniopolis coming around, could score points. Will they call it off? Yes, they will. Canada not interested in letting them score. Not even to be Canada nice at this point. They're just not.
They are sorry.
Not going to do it. Sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry.
So they're up at an even 250 right now with under 11 minutes left in the first half. Get a different shirt from a different roller derby league from around the world every month. Join the Roller Derby Shirt Club at where else? RollerDerbyShirtClub.com.
Fuji with the star for Greece. Shania Payne for Canada. Canada down 1 blocker in the 5-second skate gear box. Shania Payne finds an inside line, not too hard. I'm sorry, it's Maiden Sane. Maiden Sane gets around for lead jammer.
One to beat right now for Fuji is Alexandra Evans. However, getting some help now from the pivot for Canada. It's number 99, Pulish.
It's tricky. She only had 1 in front of her, but then the pack started to condense again heading into the turns. And now she's got 3, scratch that, all 4 Canadian blockers to get around. Giving a little offensive help. Assistance there, finds an inside line, dodges the last hit. She's through on her initial pass, but Maiden Sane picking up a 5-point grand slam. Slowing down, eyeballing the jammer, hits Fuji in the chest on the far straightaway. Then it was a cut call, but then the other ref was like, nope, not actually a cut. Not quite. So everybody's still on the track. Yep.
Coming down the straightaway, Maiden Sane completing a scoring pass. A tumble to the ground, but the one taking the penalty for the forearm is going to be Fuji.
No points assessed for Team Greece, I wondered. And it looks like they wonder about it too as their bench coach heads out to the middle of the track here.
But it could be the timing with the penalty that was incurred by Fuji at the end of that jam. Forearm was the signal. Now Greece is actually going to request a review. So they're going to challenge this, and we'll get some more information for you in a little bit once that comes. The head referee for this skating official crew is Righteous Oxide. The head NSO for this particular NSO crew is Strong Female Character.
Aw.
So both of them very experienced officials.
Yes, I've definitely seen those names here and there. Always appreciate a strong female character as well.
So the clock stopped with...
There it is, 3 points on the board for Team Greece. So that was a well-taken official review by Team Greece. Crowd liking it, the team very happy about it. They are on the board, celebrating on the bench right now.
Arms of victory in the air.
I mean, if you're going to win an official review, winning points, probably one of the best kinds that you can win. We're getting a big oppa from the Greece section here.
It may turn out that this was coincidental because there was still some conferencing happening in the center of the track when the jammer official came over to show the 3 fingers. So we'll get some clarification on the nature of the review. Clock stopped at 8:51, 265 for Canada, 3 for Greece. And what do we know, Hammer?
We know that actually no official review was taken because the points were clarified by the referees, so just an official timeout. So Greece actually gets to retain the official review anyway because it wasn't one. So the referees were discussing it on their own as well and did decide, and that's why you saw the 3 fingers go up even before anything had really been sent out more officially.
Well, it's fortunate and means, yes, they do still have official review number 1 at their disposal.
Yep. And about, put some seconds back on the clock there too, 8:51 left in the first half. So Greece now on the board, 3 points to Team Canada's 265. They are, however, starting with the jammer in the box. So this time it is, in fact, Shania Payne for Canada, getting lead up the inside line as the packs move very quickly into the far straightaway.
Yeah, Canada off that start with a really nice 3-in-1 formation. Very clean, beautiful, coordinated sweep to open up a lot of lanes for Shania Payne, who now opens up another gear and goes airborne on that apex jump at turn 3.
I feel like I'm starting to see more and more apex jumps as the skaters are figuring out the track this weekend too. It is a pretty slick track. You can see there's different color striations on the floor there. The dark spots are where the paint's been worn off over time, and I'm told those are pretty slick, whereas the lighter spots are a little bit grippier. So you're going back and forth between grip and slick really quickly, and it can be tricky to nail your landings that way.
Start passed by Team Greece. It's now in the hands of Beth Saltz, number 500.
Shania Payne, one to beat in the front. Does so. Greece losing 1 blocker to the box, to the 5-second skate gear box for a high block.
Now Beth Saltz at the back of the pack, challenging that triangle, now recycled back through the infield by Hughes. So you see Shania Payne completing another scoring pass for Team Canada. Some defensive help coming in here for number 300, and that's Greek Frightening. Greek Frightening from the UK, actually, as a skater, a member of Nottingham Roller Derby. He's actually the captain of their A team the past year.
And a cutting the track call being assessed on Beth Saltz, headed back to the 5-second skate gear penalty box. Another power jam opportunity for Shania Payne. See if she can maybe beat the 45-point jam record in this game. She's up to 35 now.
Yeah, and she's putting on the afterburners now, so 40. She has the time to possibly do it, and she does. She's going to tie it with a 45-point pickup. That's 2 45-point jams for Canada in this game already. Still just 6.5 minutes left in the opening half. Having a look here at the previous jam and seeing Shania Payne
apex jump.
There we go, just missing those legs there from Kiki Kouritis.
I mean, if you time it just right, you can jump right over someone's back like that. You gotta be careful you don't kick the other blocker while you're at it. It is up to the jammer to make sure they do that cleanly. Maya Mangalu on the line for Canada. 2 blockers in the 5-second skate gear box for Team Greece, so just 2 on the track. I'm sorry, 1 blocker and a jammer who's currently holding the cover in her hand.
And watch Alexandra Evans here at the back, the blocker of the long hair, 131 for Canada. She didn't do it this time. She's been doing it a lot, watching skaters come out of the penalty box and then goad them into taking illegal re-entries.
Tricky. So 4-point pass to start things off for Maya Mangalyeu in this jam. Beth Salt's back on the track, trying to make her way through. Does not have the cover on her head right now. It's in her hand in turn 1, trying to make her way through as a 5-point grand slam to Maya Mangalyeu in the meantime. And a form being assessed to Leo Leos. There is the star pass by Team Greece in the far straightaway.
Surrounded by 4 blockers in white, and there goes one. That's Alexandra Evans' direction of gameplay. Penalty taking a seat in the 5-second skate here, penalty box.
Naniopoulos now with the star for Team Greece, able to get through on her initial pass. And Canada's like, nope, nope, nope. Don't want you to get any more points. 327 to 3 in favor of the Canadians.
Cheddar, Gouda, Swiss, and pepper jack. Get your cheese on with cheese balls. Available online. Cheese balls, precision skate bearings, the original hand-prepared skate bearing.
Fuji and Crazy Squirrel will be squaring off for this jam. Each team with a tripod, one person in the 5-second skate your box. Outside line, wide open for Crazy Squirrel. Fuji stuck, dropped to the inside, recycled back as the packs move into turn 2.
Hughes is the tall blocker for Canada in the center of the track on the straightaway with 6'5'8". He's doing a lot of tremendous work here to the knockdown on Fuji, and the big drawback to turn 1 is see Fuji go through the right side of your screen. There's Hughes at the back with Alexandra Evans. Hughes, also known as Surgical Strike from Montreal Roller Derby's New Skids on the Block.
See a lot of folks this weekend skating under their legal names as opposed to derby names to represent their countries. I definitely going to shout out favorite being Scarlet Love, aka Bisexual. That is her real name, and it is amazing.
Learn something new every day, Harry.
Right? Meanwhile, on this track, Crazy Squirrel, another 5-point grand slam, clocking up to 25 points on the jam. It's Team Greece can't seem to keep all blockers on the track. They're losing another one to the 5-second skate gear penalty box. So just 3 on the track right now.
Canada just, again, doing a very effective job of preventing Greece from coming together and being able to coordinate some offense or defense for the various jammers that are in action in this game.
And honestly, that's the main difference I feel like you see between the teams that are pretty clearly going to be headed to the top 8 or top 16 versus other teams, is the difference between how fast they work to transition between offense and defense and how quickly they recycle and get in front of the jammer, and they don't ever give up. That's, again, like as soon as the jammer thinks they've got an inch, and immediately everybody's back in front of the game. So it's just the speed of reaction is so different. And just as Team Greece gets their jammer through on the initial pass, Canada calling it off with another 45-point jam.
That is the 3rd of the game so far for Canada.
A lot of discussion going on the track right now. Team Greece having a conversation with the refs, but nothing going to stall the game at this point. We're back on the track. Clear box. Full strength for both teams. Falcon punch with lead for Team Canada. Multiplayer being assessed to a Team Greece blocker.
Naniopoulos taken out on the outside line, but stays in bounds just barely.
That's some fancy footwork. Naniopoulos through on her initial pass for Team Greece. As they lose a 3rd blocker, the pivot will head to the 5-second skate gear penalty box. So this is going to be a lone blocker on the track. Some poor soul will have to be out there doing it by themselves to start this next jam.
Yeah, because they do have Nacho Friend standing in the 5-second skate gear penalty box, meaning that the other 2 can sit. So the only blocker on the track with a smile on her face is going to be Diarrhea And Ria is going to be the only blocker on the track to start the jam for Greece. Fuji, number 45, on the jammer line, going up against Maiden Sane for Team Canada.
And Ria started in the middle, wasn't able to move to the inside because Canada just had her surrounded. So pretty quick lead jammer being assessed to Maiden Sane. Fuji back on the track.
Ria looking for an opening, actually did take Lever out of the way. Unfortunately, also going down was Fuji at the same time.
And that is always the balance to strike. Fuji free, but hit. A little jammer on jammer action there, Maiden Sane. Oh, but picking up a forearm, and that is the risk. When you decide to go on the offensive as a jammer and initiate contact with the other jammer, it is such a risk to yourself that you might take yourself out in the process, or, as in the case of Maiden Sane, grab yourself a penalty. So power jam for Team Greece, and it is coming to an end as a cutting the track penalty being assessed to Fuji. Unfortunately came back in a little too quick when she got hit out of bounds there, headed into turn 3. So we'll get a little swap seas in the 5-second skate gear box. Oh, so close to the sun there with a power jam opportunity.
The power jam
the
gods
just melted.
giveth, and the power jam gods taketh away. Yes.
I feel like that's an apt allusion to make for Team Greece.
Put another nickel in the jar, Hammer.
Thank you. Maiden Sane back on the track for Team Canada. Blast through the tripod. In turn 3, he's going to pick up a 5-point grand slam to move back into the far straightaway. Both teams backing up to try to take away some yards from those jammers. Yep. Maiden Sane able to battle through pretty quickly for 5 points.
Vino Evil, the pivot for Greece, now coming around the back, trying to open up some space there for Fuji. He's been in the thick of things a lot in this jam, and a couple of good hits, just not able to stop Maiden Sane in her tracks, which obviously is the goal.
Is that the goal for blockers in Derby? I guess maybe try to stop the jammer. If you feel like it.
So
I'm sorry, I'm giving you a hard time. That's not a slam to Team Greece.
So as we go to halftime, Canada crosses the 400 mark. They are at 4:01. Greece has 3 points. They picked up a couple of jams ago. We're going to be heading towards halftime shortly. And of course, as we'll talk a bit more in the second half about what's happening later today with the quarterfinals that will happen this evening. We'll talk a bit about what happened in the first half of this game, and then we can also talk about what happens in the second half when it happens.
That sounds like a great plan, Mr. Whistler. So we'll see you back here in just a little bit over 14 minutes. So do what you need to do to refresh, and then do rejoin us for the second half of Team Canada versus Team Greece at the Roller Derby World Cup 2018. And we are back here on the S1 Helmets track 1. I'm trying to get all these words out today. I'm Hammer Abbey. I'm here with Mr. Whistler. We're going to lead you through the second half of Team Greece versus Team Canada. Currently a 4:01-3 score. Team Canada, of course, ranked at about number 3 right now in the tournament. 33 for Greece, which is a good indicator of why you're seeing a disparity between the two, but Canada drawing a lot of players from very, very established teams. Quick rundown here before we jump back into it. Let you know, also a big difference in the game. 37 penalties right now for Team Greece versus just 9 for Canada. Canada running a 5-jammer rotation, Greece just 3 as well. So interesting to see the differences between those teams, and that's going to be Maya Mangalyou starting things off with lead jammer versus Beth Saltz.
We have seen a number of star passes on the Greek side. Almost had one in progress there. However, before we could get to that point, Beth Saltz with a back blocking penalty going to the 5-second skate gear penalty box. So it's a power jam here for Maya Mangalyou and Team Canada. Greece trying to take the back wall, and Canada coming in to split that wide open. Mangle with a couple more to beat, picks up 5 points on that initial scoring pass. Maya Mangalyou already the leading point scorer in this game with 107 points before this jam got underway.
That's not too bad for the first half of the game. Put that one in the little jammer hopes and dreams jar later. Maya Mangalyou already with, that's going to make it 15 on the jam. And a star pass for Team Greece completed to
That's Amazon.
Amazon, who's currently sitting at 4 penalties in the game from the first half.
Yeah, Amazon, certainly one of the tallest, and the tallest skater on the Greek team, earning that name. Amazon actually from Canada, skating with Renegade Derby Dames out of Alliston, Ontario.
Oh, so skating against some of our own country folk here. Another 5-point pass for Maya Mangalyou. Amazon does have the star cover on her helmet now, but still stuck behind a tripod of Canada blockers, and little offense coming in there from Papazakopoulos. Also sitting in 4 penalties after the first half. I want to make a note, Amazon had 4, but there was one that had been rescinded. It would have been 5 because went to the box mistakenly at one point during one of those star passes that got a little confusing. Monge recycling way back, but Amazon not falling for it because it was a no pass, no penalty. Still the Jam coming to a conclusion with 35 points, none for Greece.
Revell is the leading tech performance equipment for women in contact sports. The Revelia is a bust and shoulders protection system for women and was awarded at ISPO, the world's largest sports and innovation fair in the world. Start the revolution, the first brand for women in contact sports. RevellContactwear.com. Hashtag make an impact.
Fuji jamming for Greece. Shania Payne real quick around the outside for Team Canada. Going to get lead. And a star stash actually going to get Fuji through on the initial. So Shania Payne is going to be a quick hit it and quit it. And there it is, called off with just 4 points. One of the lower scoring jams in this game, but nice work on Team Greece and bringing their jammer pretty quickly in that one. Canada with 1 blocker in the box right now.
So bench manager Jess Bandit coming out from Team Canada. Former skater with Team Canada, longtime member of Montreal Roller Derby as well.
Crazy Squirrel jamming for Canada. Naniopoulos taking the star to start off things for Team Greece, which will be just a little bit dangerous. Naniopoulos sitting at 4 penalties, but got a little room to work with. Crazy Squirrel in the lead right now as the Packs move into turn 2. Naniopoulos doing battle in the front with Monge. Gets it almost, stays in a 1-toe stop. So she is through for her initial pass. Crazy Squirrel sees that coming though, calls it off. That's just gonna be another 4-point jam. 2 quick jams here. So though not scoring points for Team Greece, this is still looking better so far in the second half for them. A little bit tighter gameplay. I don't want to jinx anything.
Well, something we've talked about this weekend too, of course, is a team, say as Canada, there's a number of skaters from pockets of the country that all play and train together regularly as it is, and also having other opportunities at like localized tournaments coming together. A team like Greece, we've got people from all over the world, like as far as where they live on this roster. There are a handful of skaters on this Greek roster from Athens Roller Derby. But Fuji, for instance, who's wearing the helmet cover for the jammer right now for Greece, coming from Oldriki Roller Girls. We've also got people from the United States and other parts of the United Kingdom as well.
Yeah, one of them is a little bit familiar to me. I will give a little shout out to Donna Stunner, one of the blockers for Team Greece, is from my home league, the Mad Rollin' Dolls in Madison, Wisconsin. So there's quite a few of us here from Wisconsin this weekend.
Well, how about that? Yeah, I understand that she actually has played at the home team level for 6 seasons with Mad Rollin' Dolls.
She has, yep. She is also a local alderperson, which is an elected official. She's the first Ho-Chunk, so Indigenous elected official in Madison right now. So could have also played for Team Indigenous, but went with the other side of her family and is playing for Team Greece. It's a 5-point grand slam, by the way, while we're just chit-chatting. Falcon Punch just out there doing work. 20 points on the jam right now.
And the aforementioned Fuji, unfortunately, sitting in the penalty box. It's the 7th jammer penalty of this game for Team Greece. Canada's only had 1 thus far. So Falcon Punch on the power jam right now for Canada. Knows what to do with it.
Well, Canada, as we were discussing earlier privately off the mic, doing a really good job of forcing penalties on Team Greece a lot of the time. It's just really intense gameplay, and then you've got people doing things like pulling back when someone's coming out of the box and forcing an illegal re-entry. So just making life as difficult as possible for the other team, but showing all those different ways that you can apply different skills and play a really holistic game, front to back. You should be doing everything in your power, like for instance, right here, although going to get an out-of-play call there for the effort. Konichiwa had been drawing Fuji way back to make her re-enter behind.
Star pass on Team Greece. The jammer record is now number 2. That's Ria. Ria trying to come up the inside line, but gets pushed into the infield, unable to make hay with the jammer cover. So no points for Greece, 44 on that jam for Team Canada. I did say earlier, towards the end, I should say, of the first half that Canada had 3 jams of 45 points each. They actually had 2 in the first half. There was one where the 45th point was rescinded, which means this is at least the second 44-point jam of the game for Team Canada.
Good correction. Maya Mangliu will be jamming against
Beth Saltz, number 500. Beth Saltz skating with Maine Roller Derby. And surprise, surprise, her family has farmed olive groves outside Kalamata for generations. The Contulas family groves.
It's a nice family history. Lead jammer going to Maya Mangliu in the far straightaway. Beth Saltz getting low, getting knocked over and fallen onto by Monge. Penalty will be assessed to Monge for that.
She kind of got sandwiched in that collision between Beth Saltz and Papasakopoulos. But yes, with the out-of-play call. Papasakopoulos, speaking of longtime skater based in the United States, has skated under the name Bullet Sucker. She founded Team Greece ahead of the last World Cup in 2013. She founded the team. She's played with Texas. She's played with Angel City. She's played with Houston Roller Derby, Silicon Valley Roller Derby. So a long tenured history for Papasakopoulos. And Team Greece, we've seen this weekend, I think, they have certainly grown since the 2014 World Cup in terms of their performances. In 2014, Greece did have one victory that weekend, and that was over Team Italy, but did fall to Belgium, Australia, and Colombia in 2014. But there were some skaters who played for Greece in the 2014 World Cup who actually played their first games of roller derby at that World Cup. There were some people that were that new.
Yeah, that's one of the fun stories of the World Cup in general. I feel like every year you meet people from some of these fleggling teams that have come together that this is literally their first roller derby bout.
And it becomes a big learning experience. Now we have a jammer battle. Speaking of experiences, Maiden Sane and Neniopoulos going shoulder to shoulder. Maiden Sane.
And a track cut being assessed to Neniopoulos. I'm actually a little surprised to see that, but
I saw the signal and I wanted to wait and see who was going to get that. I think the legs almost got crossed over between the two skaters in that. So sometimes the jammer battle can pay off if you're the victor.
Yep. It was very patient work actually by Maiden Sane. Was very strong. Oh, nice hit out there by Team Greece on Maiden Sane.
Yeah,
on
Vino
the curve.
Evil.
Vino Evil doing a lot of work in this game, as we noted before. And nice big high five on the track for that. 5:07 for Canada to just 3 for Team Greece. We've got about 20 minutes left in the second half of gameplay. This is a test of endurance for Team Greece for sure. But as we were saying before, even when we've got these fledgling teams, people don't normally get to play together, having to come together from across the world and put together a team really quickly. It's really fun to watch them develop through the course of just a weekend. I feel like I've watched a lot of teams just get better and better with each game, start learning things, and you can learn from these high-level teams. Even though it's not fun to get shut out quite so hard, that's never fun, but you can pick up a lot from games like this and learn so much.
Well, they're going to be bringing this back to their home leagues,
right?
For sure. Like Athens Roller Derby, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 members of this team that we're seeing here today that actually are from Athens Roller Derby. They're definitely going to be bringing this experience back to Athens.
Keep spreading the roller derby bug and all those good skills to new places. Shania Payne picking up 4 on that jam, a quick one as the other jammer was able to get out relatively quickly.
Now as the start there, as Neniopoulos was moving around the outside, picking up that initial pass. Crazy Squirrel is going to be on the jammer line now for Team Canada, number 231. Crazy Squirrel, living in southern Ontario, but playing for Queen City Roller Girls out of Buffalo, New York, just across the border.
And doing a little vault around the outside to pick up lead jammer. Fuji still stuck in the back around the jammer line for Team Greece.
A tandem of LaBrosse and Lever teaming up right now. Hughes in the front anchoring that tripod. Star is off for Fuji. Couple of feints at a handoff. Don't think it has been completed yet. Hughes with a big takedown on Fuji. Fuji re-enters but then yields and is now going to get taken back to turn 4.
Just reset here at the jammer line. Start over again. And whistles blowing. There's a little bit of a pile up there. That's going to be a direction of gameplay on Greek Frightening. Headed to the 5-second skate gear penalty box. Crazy Squirrel, nice little hop around the inside, actually past one of our own falling players to pick up a 5-point grand slam. And a cutting the track, being assessed to Fuji, headed to the penalty box, the 5-second skate gear penalty box, so a power jam opportunity for Team Canada. And Crazy Squirrel just kind of enjoying herself out there. That's going to be 25 points on the jam so far.
That's the 10th jammer penalty issued to Greece now in this game.
I mean, they've only got a 3 rotation. That's a lot of hard work for just 3 jammers to shoulder a game like this on their own. Oh, but a multiplayer block being assessed to Crazy Squirrel. One of those unusual jammer penalties you don't see too often, but can happen when you're coming through. If someone else is trying to get by you and you're creating an impenetrable wall with your hand there.
Yeah, she was taking a whip off of one of her teammates, and that was challenged and couldn't get through. So don't see it too often, but jammer penalty for Canada, only their 2nd, but this is a well-needed power jam opportunity for Greece. Fuji, though, stuck at the back between Kenichi Well and LaBrosse right now.
Well, so Team Greece was trying to move a single Canada blocker away from the pack, trying to make the pack themselves and break it, but weren't able to move that single blocker far enough to do that, and left their jammer to try to sort of work through that tripod on her own. So, I mean, it is a valid tactic. You can do that. You can break the pack and try to make it work and free your jammer, but in this case, Canada just a little too wily and a little too tough. So we've got a team timeout being called by Team Greece.
As Europe's original derby-owned and devoted skate shop, Sucker Punch is dedicated to helping you with honest advice to find exactly what you need and more. Their technical know-how and expertise is unrivaled, as is their availability of your favorite gear and the fast shipping that they offer throughout Europe. Visit them at suckerpunchskateshop.com.
You can see those folks in yellow shirts out on the track, checking it out, making sure everything's ship-shape. Those are our awesome volunteers for the weekend from here in Rainy City Roller Derby, and they are everywhere, and they are working hard, and we thank them enormously, the entire league, for putting on such a great show this weekend here in Manchester, England.
In fact, even some of the members of the volunteers come from outside of the UK as well.
I have heard that.
I have crossed paths with folks from the United States. In fact, people who were doing some behind-the-scenes volunteer work at the 2014 World Cup in Dallas. But definitely the lion's share is all from the locals, and they've done a tremendous job securing this location and just putting together like one heck of a show. So power start for Greece. The lone jammer to start this one on the track is Neniopoulos. Crazy Squirrel now released from the 5-second skate gear penalty box. Crazy Squirrel opens the door on the inside line, which closes courtesy of Monge on Neniopoulos, who's now reabsorbed into the pack. And a low block penalty to Neniopoulos, another jammer penalty for Greece. Power jam, Team Canada.
Boy, so had a nice start going into the second half for Team Greece, keeping to a couple low-scoring jams. They've started to do a better job of getting their jammers out on initial passes as well, but still running into serious trouble with jammer penalties, and Crazy Squirrel just loving the chance to catch as much air as possible in this game. Canada moving 1 Greece blocker into the back, breaking up the pack a little bit, so just 2 jammer blockers in the front. Amazon and Maluba now hanging out in the far straightaway. Crazy Squirrel around on another scoring pass, gets around Amazon on 1 foot. Neniopoulos back on the track, has the cover in her hand. Comes in hard, but Canada says you shall not pass.
Yeah, Maluba was doing some nice work coming up the near straightaway, just pushing, trying to just force her jammer through the pack, but was not able to make any headway. Neniopoulos does complete the initial pass now.
Sometimes no matter how hard you want the thing, it's It's just not going to happen. 4 more points for Canada. So 28-point jam, 571 to 3.
15 minutes left in the second half. Having another look here at the previous jam and just seeing Crazy Squirrel opening that space on the inside and then Monge following right behind, shutting the door on Nandiapolis and preventing the initial pass from being completed.
Which, I mean, is so smart. You see the jammers being like, well, maybe I can follow this other jammer through just a little bit of speed. Nope, going to close that door about as fast as possible. So we're going to see, wow, Grease starting with the star in her hand right away. Just knew, I'm not going to get lead. I'm just going to try to do a star pass right away and not even pretend at this.
And does hand it off to Rhea, number 2, the former pivot for Team Grease.
Unfortunately, though, when you hand off the star to the pivot who is not yet through all the other blockers, if the pivot doesn't have a clear line out, you know, you're going to run into them being stuck immediately as well.
Now, this may have been more of a case of Nandiapolis just being gassed from the previous jam and knowing that I'm not the one you want out here right now. Give it to somebody else. Take that opportunity.
Maya Mangliu jamming for Canada, untouched on that pass. As we're recycling back into turn 3.
And you see this is that tactic again. Hughes, again, with a little pop back, just not sufficient to force the cut on the entry.
Just grinding away in turn 4 here. Rhea not getting any distance. All of her friends coming around to cluster around, try to push on those other blockers for offense, but Canada just too rock solid.
Yeah, Greece right now, their tactics, they've gone to strictly offense. There is no defense happening here on this particular jam. A forearm penalty by Maya Mangliu for the little shove as she passed the pack. So it's a power jam for Greece.
So this is an opportunity for them to play all of that offense and see if they can get Rhea through to score some points. I don't believe she's gotten through on the initial pass just yet. But boy, yeah, I mean, just no matter, you've got all of those blockers out there trying to play offense, and it's still just not quite enough. Very close. Yep, that's going to be a cut.
Yep, this time it was Palmer forcing the cut, just carrying the momentum, and it's a fake out move that Canada does. Their blockers have practiced this, and they're employing it a lot in this game, so it pays off for them there. Canada has now crossed the 600-point threshold. There's a few more trickling in, so they're at 604. Greece holding at 3. 12.5 minutes plus left on the period clock.
There's almost enough time for Team Canada to top the highest point score of the weekend that we've had so far, which I believe was up in the 620s.
Yeah, that would have been the game.
635. 635.
Yeah, Sweden over Russia yesterday, 635 to 6.
Russia was very excited about those 6 points. They came late in the game, but it was hard earned. So we've got a timeout on the track right now. The
officials calling this timeout here on the S1 Skate Co track. The S1 Lifer visor helmet offers next level protection, and S1, of course, is the official helmet of the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup. Durable, functional, stable. They also have the S1 Pro knee pads, which are built for roller derby.
Well, I'm happy to see some dancing and cheerfulness out on the track. This looks like it's been a very rough, hard game for Greece, and Rhea in the box right now for them. You could tell she was kind of gassed on that last one, and I don't say this to insult at all. Like, I have been there. You just get so tired, and they've had such a short jammer rotation, and then some of the pivots doing a lot of work, just trying to get through. But these Canada's walls are just so impenetrable, and then you've got folks trying to pull you on penalties as you're just trying to re-enter the track. So at every turn, it's just so much work. But I'm real happy to see that it seems like everybody's pretty cheerful, having a good time, learning some things, playing roller derby together.
And we're going to have one of the rare jammerless jams to start this next one. As Maya Mangliu is standing in the penalty box because Rhea just got there at the end of the previous jam.
Well, you know, we'll just hang out on the track for a second here.
Yeah.
You don't see these so much anymore since we've tweaked the rules over the years, these jammerless jams, but Monge isn't going to stop that from being very, very active.
The sweep from left to right there, initiated by Maj. Highly successful, but some nice blocking at the front there, holding Mangle back just a bit. It was Nacho Friend teaming up with Amazon on the little hiccup there, and Mangle's actually going to call the jam before even reaching the pack, and that's going to keep Diarrhea in the box.
That's just,
Rhea's standing.
That's just like cutthroat strategy right there at this point in the game. Oh, Canada.
Falcon Punch now will be the one on the jammer line to start this next jam.
So full strength on the track for both teams.
First time in looks like 7 jams since we've seen Falcon Punch on the jammer line.
Gets through without too much trouble. Rhea back on the track now for Greece, has the star cover in her hand. Vino Evil trying to put the brakes on Falcon Punch, not able to do so for 4-point pass. Moving into turn 1 now. Pack's getting a little bit spread out, a little chaotic, still a lot of hitting going on. Falcon Punch through, looks like may have taken a little bit of a hit to the ear there. Tries to find the inside line, comes up against Bloklova, but still able to push through for another 5-point Grand Slam pass. Pack slowly grinding into turn 2 now. Falcon Punch doing what her name says and punching with her shoulders to get through. Hughes dragging the pack way back, as now we do have a star pass to the pivot. That's number 45 Fuji, who's one of the regular jammers. So it makes sense to stick her out there as a pivot since Volt was, or I'm sorry, not Rhea Volt, Diarrhea. Looking a little tired.
Knockdown, and now Fuji still trying to get through on the inside line. Star is still in hand. Coming up against number 658 Hughes. There's a lot of room on the outside right now for Falcon Punch. Falcon Punch just doing laps at the moment. There's another drawback courtesy of number 183. It's Lever for Team Canada. It's Lever and Hughes.
Being that we're in England, I desperately want to pronounce her name Lever. Fuji doing battle in the back of the tripod between turns 1 and 2. Not able to find any daylight as that jam comes to its natural conclusion, and we will finish, I believe, with another 44-point jam for Falcon Punch. So the third 44-point jam of this game. About 9 minutes left, 6:48 to 3. That does officially top scoring game of the 2018 World Cup. Canada now collecting all of the points, all of them for them.
On the jammer line right now for Team Greece, number 248, Naniopoulos, going up against number 88, Maiden Sane. Maiden Sane blows a tire on the far straightaway, but recovers and is going to be back up now. Already approaching the pack. He's going to knife through. Is on a power jam. Naniopoulos taking another seat in the 5-second Skateco penalty box.
Wheels starting to come off the bus a little bit here at the end. Just a lot of jammer penalties, unfortunately, making it difficult to stop these huge scoring jams by Team Canada. 13 jammer penalties for Team Greece right now, just 3 for Canada. We've already got 15 on the board for Maiden Sane. Naniopoulos back on the track, almost makes it through, but a toe goes out on the inside line, so she's gonna have to come back around behind Polish.
And speaking of Maiden Sane is actually the only remaining member from the first Team Canada to the 2011 Roller Derby World Cup.
Nice longevity. We do have a power jam on the track right now as Maiden Sane picked up a back block on that pass. So Naniopoulos, the only jammer out there right now, gets past. Ooh, it's gonna happen. She does get through. She's got some seconds before Maiden Sane gets released. So if they can get her through, get her a couple of points, they're going to get some more points for the first time in this half. We'll see what happens. Coming around very fast.
Got at least one, which means now she's coming in against the tripod. Boxcar.
Oh, taken out. That is going to be a clockwise block, however, on Bolish. Maiden Save back on the track. Almost gets hit out of bounds by Amazon. Oh, no, does get hit out of bounds by Amazon. Going to have to come back and recycle around along with Naniopolis into turn 3. So no lead jammer on this jam. We'll go the full 2 minutes. There it is, called off. How many points? 4! All 4 points for Team Greece. They are thrilled. Unsurprisingly, watch Donna Stunner just like pumping her fists in the air there. So that brings them up to 7. So they have scored in 1 jam in either period of this game now. But that's got to feel real good. Those are some of the most hard-fought points in roller derby when you get this point.
Well, yeah, and it wasn't just the smiles and the cheers from the crowd and on the Team Greece bench. We saw the Team Canada skaters also applauding as well, which, I mean, when you're up by this many points, you know, that's not a backhanded compliment. It's really, yeah, you guys fought for that. You guys earned it. We didn't give that to you.
You know, I'm always cheering for good roller derby, and I'm always cheering for an underdog, and I'm always cheering for something when so here's a little fun fact. In the cycling world, see, we've got a star pass successfully through here to Vino Evil, who's been doing all this work. In the cycling world, the last person to finish a race is called the Lanterne Rouge. And it is a place of honor in cycling because you are the one who is out there for the longest during that day. You're doing the hardest work, you are suffering the most, and you still finish the race. So the Lanterne Rouge, the red lantern that hangs on the back of a caboose, is a place of honor. And I don't say this at all patronizingly. It's hard work when you are down that far, but you're still out there fighting to the very end, which Team Greece is absolutely doing today. So I applaud them for the effort.
Having a look there at Crazy Squirrel for Team Canada on the jammer line. Just getting focus into the zone. Going up against number 248 in Naniopolis.
Crazy Squirrel through with lead jammer. Naniopolis still right around the jammer line here. Offensive help coming from Sarlis on the inside. Not quite enough to get her through. Does have the star cover in her hand now as Crazy Squirrel picks up her first 5-point Grand Slam. Track's moving quickly into turn 2. Still mixing it up. Greece trying to play some offense to get Naniopolis through. She hasn't passed the star, but it is off of her helmet. Oh, it's back on her helmet now. Pardon me, huge hit from Alexandra Evans, but that's going to be a low block. And Naniopolis is down on the ground, so we are going to wait a minute and see if she is okay. Her team taking care of her, looking after her right now, checking in on her. As always, we thank the medical staff for being here and helping us out in times of need, making sure that our skaters are okay. This medical staff is looking after her right now. Good sign. There's some laughter being shared between the medical staff and Naniopolis. Got a pat on the back, and she's back up on her feet. Very glad to see that.
Yeah, skating off under her own power. That hit was a monstrous hit delivered by Alexandra Evans, number 131 for Team Canada. Also sometimes skating at the home team and travel team level as Bruiseberry Pie. And I think it's hopefully just a case of winding the recipient.
Yeah, sometimes you get nailed in the sternum and it takes it right out of you.
So the clock was stopped with 4 minutes and 29 seconds left in the second half. 6:96 for Team Canada, 7 for Greece.
So we do have an official review.
Being called by Team Greece.
We will let you know what that is as soon as we find out.
Rowline, the Italian skating experience since 1999. Be sure to check out Rowline on Facebook and Instagram and all the social medias for the latest offers. Follow them with the hashtag TrueRowline. Also want to thank the Caesar Mouthguards, the official mouthguard of the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup, protecting skaters around the world. coming up next on this track, again, this is the S1 Skateco track. Next game after this will be at 3:30 p.m. local time. That'll be Russia taking on Romania. And that'll conclude this round on this track. We'll have a bit of a break after that, in which case during which the seedings will be updated, the rankings, and we'll know who our top 16 teams are. Quarterfinals will kick off this evening with one on each of the tracks here in Event City. And then the top 8 teams move into their own bracket, which will ultimately lead to the medals. Teams ranked 9th through 16th will play for consolation settings that are between those positions.
And it will be broadcast here in the Derby Duck stream, as well as on BBC Sport.
Yeah,
for those top medal games, including the International Juniors exhibition game that is going to happen tomorrow as well, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah, they're going to be showing that. They're going to be showing the bronze medal game and, of course, the gold medal game. But you can still, if you're not in a location where you have access to BBC Sport, you can still watch on the stream you're currently watching on all
Which
the
is
action.
Nice.
Yeah.
So fun fact for you, the 2 jammers of record for Team Greece that have scored points, one in the first half, one in the second half. In the first half, it was Fuji, scored those first 3 points. And then our friend Naniopoulos with 4 points in the second half. And they are the lone scorers for their team, but it's got to feel pretty darn good at this point. So I found out the names of the other local leagues around here that have definitely contributed a lot of the people that are helping out this weekend. Manchester Roller Derby, Arcadia Roller Derby, and the Knights of Oldham, which is the most English-sounding roller derby name you could possibly have, and I applaud it. In addition, of course, our hosts, Rainy City Roller Derby. So shout out to all the local leagues, and many thanks to all the folks that were helping out on this long weekend of roller derby. Again, glad to see everybody looking cheerful on the Team Greece bench there. Canada just doing their jobs very well today. Falcon Punch will be taking the star for Canada. Beth Saltz for Team Greece. Gonna go ahead and put that helmet cover on. Why not? Give it a shot.
Falcon Punch coming around the outside, moving to the outside and staying in the outside. Picking up lead jammer for Team Canada. Star knocked off the helmet of Beth Saltz, but is recovered. Beth Saltz still trying to complete the initial pass. Going for a handoff towards Amazon at the pivot for Greece. Unsuccessful. 5-point pass for Falcon Punch means Team Canada has now crossed the 700-point threshold at 701.
So word on that official review, as we have a successful star pass here to Amazon, but Canada going to call that off. The official review was called by Team Greece. They were asking for an upgrade, basically a penalty on that last final hit in the last jam to add a high block that was egregious. But the refs determined that the contact there was incidental, so Greece loses their official review for the second half.
So 3.5 minutes remain in the game. Canada 7-5, Greece 7. Fuji and Maya Mangaliu on the jammer line for their respective teams.
Both packs up near the pivot line for this start. Doing it old school. Maya Mangaliu finds the outside line without too much trouble. Fuji getting a little bit of help from Sarla, still not enough to push her through, just trying to steamroller her way around. A cutting the track penalty being assessed to Malibu and to the pivot, Vino Evil. So Greece down to just 2 blockers on the track, trying to help Fuji get through.
Canada with the lead triangle here. Monge peeling off away from the triangle. She was in the 4 spot. Creates enough of a disturbance that opens up some lanes for Maya Mangaliu, who completes a successful scoring pass.
And a disturbance that makes it seem so mild. Just a little bit of a disturbance here.
A little bit of turbulence.
A direction of gameplay call going to Team Canada blocker.
That's Pulish.
So Sarla's still trying to push on a blocker there to get Fuji through, but it's just not, Canada's just not having it.
Space got opened. Boxcar, though, closed it very quickly. Fuji recovers. Now challenging Boxcar and Bigley Smalls at the back of the pack. Pivot coming in to help. That's number 6, Vino Evil.
I mean, of course it is. Star in hand. Fuji getting drawn back again by Bigley Smalls. Gonna have to start over.
Came so close to completing that star pass, but then got knocked out of bounds by Bigley Smalls and had to hold on to it. So heads-up play to keep it in play.
Greek Frightening trying to take out Maya Mangalu on the corner there. Swing and a miss. So that's going to be another 5-point Grand Slam pass. Boxcar getting called on a forearm. Going to head to the 5-second skate gear penalty box. We do have the star pass to Vena Evil, but she's got the whole tripod in front of her as the jam comes to its natural conclusion. Another 40-point jam for Team Canada. They are racking it up. Definitely a record-setting score for the weekend here at the World Cup. 7:45 to Greece's 7.
Well, as we mentioned, of course, you need to keep these ratios in your favor if you want to maintain the position that you have in the rankings thus far through the weekend. And I was speaking with MC Flybry on the Team Canada bench this morning, and definitely that was a goal of theirs, was to maintain their spot. They came in this morning as the number 3 seed of the tournament thus far, and this result should keep them in a healthy spot, knowing that up ahead of them were USA and then Australia.
Very tough competition coming into the finals
and also
here.
Feeling that they were outside of striking distance, quite likely, just because of what the big disparity was in the numbers that were processed through that magical computer that no one has shown us, but apparently it exists.
Some computer somewhere is doing all of this work. Which also I'm curious to see some of the math being done by folks on Twitter who seem to be pretty on top of it. And you can follow along if you want to this weekend on Twitter. The hashtag is hashtag RDWC2018. And that's where all the action is happening. And of course, you can follow the Derby World Cup itself at Derby World Cup. They're also on Instagram and Facebook. You should follow all the things, show your support, show your love, post your pictures, your speculations, your wild theories, your anger, your happiness, your sadness, your thrilledness. At this now 770-point score for Team Canada. You should just be chugging maple syrup right now in celebration.
You should not chug maple syrup. I speak with the voice of experience.
Nope.
Do not do that.
Chug it. Definitely chug it.
This is a power jam here as we are now just into jam time. The period clock has run out. Amazon take a track cutting penalty. This is in the 5-second skate gear shot penalty box. Shania Payne continued to rack it up, though, already with 35 points, going back for more. That should be 40.
Yeah, and she's got 25 seconds left. Will she break the record for highest scoring jam in the game? We shall see, because Team Greece does have one down in the box right now. There's another scoring pass that's going to bring it up to 44. She's got 15 seconds to make. I'm just going to get hyped to see if she can break a record here. 10 seconds left to do it. Everybody down on the track. So she's going to be untouched. 5 points going to put her up at 49. Definitely the highest scoring jam of the weekend.
And one more
at the end. Shania Payne with a 50-point jam to end this game rather confidently for Team Canada. Now 795-7 over Greece. But boy, did Greece put in the work for this today.
Well, and seeing Greece high-fiving and still celebrating on the bench, again, is a testament to the spirit of this particular event. Excuse me.
The point totals for the jammers for Team Canada, unsurprisingly, rather large. We've got, let's see here.
Maya Mangalu with 229 points, followed by Crazy Squirrel, 172. Shania Payne with 165. 50 of which she just scored. 150 points for Falcon Punch, and Maiden Sane picking up 90. And then, so that rotation spreading it around.
Right.
5 of them.
Lots of track time for all of their jammers. Make sure everybody's got good warm muscles going into the very competitive games they surely have ahead of them. Team Greece will give a shout out, of course, to Naniopoulos with 4 points, Fuji with 3. A lot of hard work by all of those folks on that team, though. So excellent effort by Team Greece going up against, obviously, just a much, much higher ranked team with a lot more experience and a lot more time working together. They put their best in there, though. They did what they could and fought to the very end. And that's what you got to ask in the end. And take it back with you, learn the lessons, spread the Derby knowledge.
Greece going through the tunnel right now here at the S1 Helmutko track. And well-earned applause from the crowd and cheers and support. Lots of happy faces on this team. see the bench coming around too. This is always an unusual sport, and when you have this celebration when you have just lost a game by 787 points. And I think it sometimes confuses people that just aren't familiar with the camaraderie and this, like I said, the positive spirits that we have here in this community.
It confuses them, and then you're like, this is what the world could be like. This is what sports should be like.
Yes.
We should all be having each other's backs and trying to learn and grow. And I'm gonna give it to Team Greece for having the coolest outfits. Honestly, they're gonna definitely win for outfits. Their fans and their bench staff, all around, some really amazing clothes. So we want you to stick around on this track, the S1 helmet.co track. We do have Russia versus Romania coming up next, and that should be a really interesting and pretty well-matched game, actually. Russia and Romania have had hard luck all weekend. Two very, very, very new teams. So I'm going to be very curious to see how they play against each other. So you should stick around, check it out. There's a whole lot more to come up. And then later this evening around 5:30, we'll find out what those rankings are for the quarterfinals.
Oh, I cannot wait for that and see where things are going to end up this weekend. Well, you're watching the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup here from Manchester. My name's Mr. Whistler.
I've been Hammer Abby, and we will catch you later.